Hello everybody, it's your quite dishevelled Amiga Rob here, and today I'm going to be looking at a console that is very dear to my heart. The first computing device, certainly programmable system I ever owned, and that is the Acetronic MPU 2000, which I've got in a bag in here, which is a bit filthy, and let's have a look. It's been in the loft, so we're going to have a look at it right now.
Let me look into your soul.
Now the first thing you need to know about the Acetronic MPU 2000 programmable microprocessor TV Entertainment Center is that it has the best box ever made for any console ever. This is the box that tells you what it's all about. My one's a little bit damaged. It's really dirty. I probably should have cleaned it before I stuck it on the... Well, I've got it on a bag here on the carpet. This was the second version of this console that came out as in the Acetronic range, and this was also released under other names. I forget what it's called in Australia. It was based on the the system. The actual system is called the 1292 Programmable Video System, and I think it's based on a Signetics processor. It's not got much juice in it. It's not got much memory. It's got some hardware sprites, which put it ahead of the personal computers that were out at the time. I don't think there were any sprites on personal computers. It was very much a console games machine type thing. And it came, well, the box is sort of still in one piece. There was a ton of games that came out for this. I say a ton, it was a ton by the standards of a console in those days. And yeah, it's the second version of this particular version of the 1292 Programmable Video System that came out. The original version of was the Acetronic MPU 1000, and that version didn't have an internal power supply, an external power supply, which, to be honest, might be slightly better, because the last time I switched this machine on was September the 1st, 2011. Not September the 1st, September the 11th, 2001. Let me get that right. I've gone a bit back to front there, so I know that was the date that it was last switched on, and I'm not sure if the power supply is going to detonate on activation. But look at this picture. I mean, apart from the fact the box art for all of the games in this thing is absolutely brilliant, look at what great fun this family is having here. Yeah? You got the dad is having a great time. Look at the dad having a great time. The boy is having a great time. I think it's a boy. He's got a digital watch. If you look carefully there, digital watch, pretty cool. Focus, 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 please. In fact, this all looks out of focus. I really love this console. I really, really do. And it is much neglected by pretty much everyone. There is an emulator for it called WinArcadia, of which there is also an Amiga version available out there called AmiArcadia. There was another system, so there was a ton of systems based on this license, the 1292 programmable system. That came in various different cases. This particular I think this particular one was mainly sold in the UK, but there is also another version of the system which is based on it's the exact same hardware, completely software compatible as far as I'm aware, and I think that might be the Interton system. It's completely software compatible, but it uses different cartridges. So there was, at the time, I believe, an adapter that let you use cartridges one way or the other. I forget which way it was. And I think they're pretty rare. So some of the other names this were marketed under was Radofin, has a slightly different case, Princetronic, and the games were marketed as being cross-compatible. And this one came with Invaders, which I think is quite a unique Space Invaders. Still not focusing this thing. Focus, focus! More like it. yeah, this came with this great Invaders cartridge. And some people say this version of Invaders is rubbish. I think it is absolutely brilliant. It's great for kids. Great version of Invaders for kids. I played with this. I was playing with this thing in the 80s through to about, I don't know, 88, 89. I was playing it a huge amount. Um, but the version of Invaders on this has got some really good variations. Like every game has about 30 variations, and one of the variations is where you can steer the missiles. And this thing has got a wonderful analog controller, of which one was broken when I last tried this. So I'm hoping it would have come back to life. I've got a fair number of games for this thing. You can see that there's a Circus there. I think it was quite a common game at the time. Arcade and all the rest of it. So you see quite a few things that were sort of paddle-based games. Gone out of focus again. There we go, it's a bit better. I haven't got Shooting Gallery. I don't have that horse race. In fact, a lot of the games on the front of here I don't have. I've got that Blackjack game. I don't have the soccer one. Air Sea Attack I've got. Super Maze I've got, which is, well, here's an example of the cartridges straight off. This one's been lying about in the loft, so it's got a bit dirty. Really nice, shiny, metallic cartridge design. You very often see these labels modified for the different companies, and there were two types of artwork, two sets of artwork. Generally everybody used the same sort of artwork, sometimes with a different title just put on the top or a different company name, so like with the Acetronic stuck just above that Invaders there. But these are quite interesting little, no visible screws on it actually, otherwise I might have taken one apart to have a look what was inside. But it's actually got British design registration number 984386 written on the back, so I don't know whether this cartridge, maybe the actual casing and cartridge system was designed in the UK. But yeah, I love the box art on this. Everything about this I love. The whole way it's presented. I'm not really, well, I am a box person I suppose. The way it's just the way it's written up, it's all really good copy on the side, complete with two hand controllers with a special overlay system, allowed the hand control. This was a great system, a great system. I think it was designed in Germany with, but I think it was an English guy who programmed some of the games for this. And I have seen an interview with one of the guys that programmed for this, and believe it or not, there is an item of homebrew software available for this thing, a version of Flappy Bird, which I've played in emulation. I know there's been a little talk on forums about making some kind of SD card adapter for this system, or if not this system, I think the Interton system, which is the same hardware but different cartridge system. So I'd love to. If they did that, I think I would probably buy one, and I would certainly have it on this channel and review it. Look at everything, the bamboo chair. They've carefully, they've blue screened out the background. It's got this like, shoom, shoom, look, it's all happening because they've shoomed the background with the blue. And this is a great box. Great box. I'm glad I've still got it. So I'm going to whip out this machine in the other room because the box is filthy and I can't be bothered to clean it. But then I'm going to try and switch it on and see if it blows up or not. Okay, so this is my Acetronic MPU 2000, which is probably going to be coming up to 40 years old. I think these things came out in 78. Mine once had one or two custom modifications done to it, namely the sticks on the paddle controllers broke sometime in the 80s, and my dad replaced them with these, I'm not sure what they are, rule plugs or something, I think, which do an okay job. If I could get some original sticks, I don't know, that's part of it now for me. But I've got to tell you, these paddles, which they've got good clicking switches, and these buttons, these little analog things, they are absolutely beautiful, and I've heard some people really slate these things. They are gorgeous. They just give you so much control. Honestly, if somebody made controllers like this for modern machines, I think they do so well. See the fabric's torn a little bit back on that one. You might be able to see Acetronic written on there, and there's you get overlays that go to each doobry. Now there's the actual system itself. I've just noticed for the first time, I've never noticed before, there's a pot on there that says sound control on it, so I don't know if that's for volume or what. And it takes a 15 watt 240 volt 50 hertz supply, and this is serial number 14,937, so I'm guessing there is at least 15,000 of these things that were out there at some point. But I really love this machine. It's a lovely little machine. It's got these lovely curly whirly cables that extend quite a distance. I think you're supposed to sit fairly close to them. It's a bit tangled up, should untangle them really. And but before I switch it on, I'll show you some of the really beautiful box art that comes with the gun. You can tell I appreciated these cartridges, this artwork, even back in the 80s, because I've really made an effort to keep the boxes, when I was a kid, keep the boxes intact. And a lot of my boxes and stuff got thrown out. I mean, they don't look great, but they're actually not in horrific shape. A bit dirty, but the actual artwork is intact. I think they just do fantastic artwork with this stuff. This kind of, I guess it's a kind of oil painting, and it looks like it's got a bit of spray and chalk. Love to know who drew these. I'm guessing it's going to be one of the British artists that went on to work for some of the other British, the big labels in the 80s. If anybody knows, please tell me, because I think the artwork is brilliant. This Invaders one is fantastic. In an era where you see lots of people taking inspiration from Star Wars and I guess Battlestar Galactica around this time, there's a lot of things going on. You've got a kind of fairly original robot there, something that looks a bit like the I think, is it called Probot from probe thing that they have from Empire Strikes Back. I mean, it's not an X-wing. It's not an X-wing, which you normally get rip-off of X-wings in these things. And then, you know, a kind of Star Warsy type thing. But it's a really great little bit of artwork. That looks like it's been clipped from a much bigger image. So I'd love to see if there's a more complete version of that. Repel the alien invaders with laser cannons, guided missiles, photon torpedoes, or guided phasors, as it says there. Phasors. Really nicely well handled typeface, and I can see I've tried to keep the box must have fallen apart, and I tried to sellotape it back together. It says here manufactured by Ace for Radofin Electronics, Far East. Now Ace was Advanced Consumer Electronics, who were Acetronic. So I don't know to what extent Acetronic and Advanced Consumer Electronics and Radofin were the same company, but I guess they probably maybe just distributing names for the same people. Again, this is a beautiful one here. Olympics. I mean, Olympic basketball. I guess that's one of the. And ice hockey. Basically, it's paddle games. This one. These are all paddle games. And there is alternate artwork for this game on other systems. Is that an overlay? I'll tell you what that is. I've never noticed that before. So there's a sticker. There's a sticker stuck on there. Microprocessor system cartridge. Whereas other ones have just got Acetronic. I've never noticed that somebody's actually stuck that on. Again, the back's just bare. But in these things, they've got like a cardboard inlay, which should be laying square. So it's quite nice how it's when they've not all been squashed up. This one's a Radofin. So I think there's a slightly different artwork for the standard Acetronic version of this game, but this one is the Radofin version, and the cartridge looks different to the other cartridges. Slightly different design. I'll bring that in a minute. The label's gone a bit bubbly on that one. Again, Challenge, same font as we see on the other ones, but again, well, she looks a little bit. But she's probably about 90 now, the woman that modelled for that, if she's still around. But again, you can see what's going on. For quite simple games, they've really made an effort to make it, this is the era when the games are about as simple as they'll ever look, and the artwork is there to sell you on the game, and I really love them. I really love the artwork. I think it's great. I don't really have a huge number of games for this system, but oh, this is a cracking bit of artwork. The sense of motion for what is, I mean, this is like the best arcade pinball artwork. I bet it was a pinball guy. It looks like Stalin there. That guy, I've never really noticed that before. Kind of hamster face Stalin, and look, that looks a bit like Natalie. What's her face? Star Wars lady, Princess Leia's mum. I don't think they would have known that. It would have been before she was born. I guess they made that. Um, but yeah, Circus carefully written in the background as well. I guess that was written before they decided to put that title there. Yeah, really lovely. And that one's, I think the box is a tiny bit more intact. Yeah, you can see it's a little bit more intact, the box there. Give you a bit more idea how that was when square. We go tank plane battle. Plane squashed in. This really interesting composition, the angles. You can see this guy very clearly. That looks like a British soldier to me. So again, I'm thinking this was a British painted thing. Very much like a lot of Action Man box art and that kind of stuff. Oh, another crack at this one. Super Maze, which is probably one of the best games on this system. Um, where you have this this robot, very stylistic. Again, this is actually quite like some Russian art, sort of Russian communist era art. It's really a really nice piece of work. I'd love to have a big version of this without the Super Maze thing on the front. If anybody knows where the masters are for this, I'd love to know. Fantastic. Have I got any manuals in any of these? Is the next question. I don't think I do. The manuals tend to have a red front. This box is completely fallen to bits. At one point I was really careful to keep all the manuals, but I think... Oh, hang on. That sounds promising. Oh, what we got here? Okay. Aha! A manual. Okay. So, yeah, instructions for challenge cartridge. Instructions for challenge cartridge. Cartridge compatible with Acetronic MPU 1000, Radofin 1292, Princetronic microprocessor. So I think they only did one issue of games. I think they had the whole lot that came out at the same time. There was none that came after. Now there is possible in this hardware to do a kind of Pac-Man game as well, but that never came out in this cartridge format. The cartridge contains programs to play 14 game variations of a 4 in a row strategy game, it says. And what you'll find in these games, it's tons of different variations of the same thing, basically. In concept, this game is simple and easy to understand. In play, the planning of future moves takes on strategic importance. Now, this is basically 4 in a row, this game, by the way. So it's Connect 4. Which there is actually a mathematical... okay. I had a feeling this was somewhere sort of local. So this is telling me Advanced Consumer Electronics Limited was on Argyle Way in Stevenage. I may well look them up and see if I can get to the bottom of that. Made in Hong Kong. I mean, I wonder if they still exist. Every now and then I've tried to look them up. I'd love to know if they've still got any betas or anything interesting there. Anyway, let's get on to the actual machine, which I've still got over here with a thing underneath it in case it blows up, because I don't want to set fire to the carpet. Let's give it a try. Okay, I've got a highly technical way of doing this. I've got it connected to a power adapter that's running through an Alexa, which is just switched on, an Alexa, what do you call it, that switches... yeah, okay, sorry, Alexa's got confused. That switches on the actual strip. So I'll do that first before I plug it into anything else. So, Alexa, switch on the lamp.
Okay.
Well, it hasn't blown up, so that's a good first sign. So the next thing I'll try and do is plug it into the TV. Right, well I've hit a tiny little bit of a hitch here, and that is that it seems the machine might need a tiny little bit of work. The first time I tried to power it on, it made an incredible shriek, which the recording, well, it just threw everything out. Now I've got it at the point where, well, I'll show you what's happening.
So after a bit of further experimenting, it became clear that I can't actually capture the video directly from this device because it all comes out a little bit too hot for anything that uses video at the minute, and it just doesn't work. I might be able to do it with WinTV Go, which I've got, but I need a legacy machine to do that. So look, I'll just show you how this thing fires on. So basically, you flick the switch. You hear this noise, which you can just about hear now, which is an incredible noise. And actually, it sounds like a cascade of water coming down. And then you hear this, and it normally goes bang, but the sound's cutting out on this. And then the game is loaded in. And I think the reason you had to do that is because there's some hardware capability that was missing to actually manually load in the cartridge at the same time you switch the power on. So they required you to hit this switch that loads it in, and then variations of the game are selected with this switch, and you start the game with this one. So I'll do it again, but with the camera pointing at the screen as it'll be, and show you how this works. I feel a bit like Zeus does now. So I'm flicking on the power. Oh, okay. And then you hit load program. Bang, loads in. So this is Air-Sea Battle. Now the first games I tried didn't work because I think there's problems with the cartridges. So I'll flick through it. Well, if I try this one first of all, if I can get it to start. Now, right, okay. So I'm moving the controller now, which is this analog stick, and if I can get it into the frame, this analog stick. Well, one thing that does seem to be missing are all the overlays actually. And I haven't seen Blackjack around. I wonder if Blackjack is still here, if I've lost that. I might have got lobbed at some point. This is a lovely smooth motion you get with this. I'd really love to show you the Invaders cartridge, but I think I'm going to have to repair that one because it seems to have developed a fault. There's tons of interference on this screen, which you can probably just about pick up, that wasn't present on the original. And actually, looking at it, I mean, this is a 50 frames per second console, and I'm not getting 50 frames per second on the capture, which I won't be able to because my camera only does 25 maximum, so it's not really going to show how beautifully smooth it is like I would have done if I'd got the let's try this variation, see what this is. Oh, okay, I've slid right off the screen. Now I think whatever the fault was with this controller might be starting to manifest again. Right. So what's the difference about this? The ships are smaller here. Now this is quite an interesting game straight away because you could see on the earlier levels there are some quite big sprites, and you're getting 2 sprites per row. So I'm guessing there's some reuse going on here. There is a single line just here where you might just be able to see that white line up in the corner where it's 1 pixel lower there, and I'm wondering if that's using a little bit of time to do something clever, because there is a lot of moving objects on the screen from a machine that I don't think has that many sprites. Well, I think what was affecting the controller the last time I played with this seems to have resolved itself. Let's try another variation. I'm looking for an interesting variation. Let's try this one, number 7. Of course, you get some variations which are like, here we go, moving missiles. You get some variations which are like just nighttime sort of thing, but sometimes the nighttime ones will play a bit differently. Turn the sound up a bit. On a CRT, these look so beautiful and smooth. There's not much point me putting it on the CRT when I can't actually run it at 50 frames anyway. But this is a 50 frame per second console, and the fluidity between the controller and what you see on the screen is brilliant. It's a lovely experience. Definitely one worth trying out. Okay, I seem to remember this one. I think plane just flies by, and I think you can control how fast and slow it is. I think it's a 2-player one. Yeah, so this is only 2-player. So this submarine, you can fire. You can't control the speed or anything, it's just... Oh! Get him! Oh! Now there's this kind of shadow effect that's affecting the numbers, and that, I think that's a side effect of using this display, and I don't think it's a hardware signal. It might not be actually, come to think of it. I don't think that's standard. I think this is a... Unless I've got this tuned to the wrong channel. Let me see if I pick him up. Let's see if the channel is... This might be a... just a reflection or something. Yeah. I'll try and bump him up a bit. No. No, I think I've got the right channel there. Goes. Oh, that's the other thing that's great about this. This could well be the first screensaver you've ever seen. It deliberately, after only a few seconds, shifts the colours into negative to try and stop you getting screen burn. Which is, I'd love to know who came up with that idea. That must have been someone who'd worked around games for a while. Oh, this is... I remember this one being a good one. Let me see if there's a... There we go, let's try. I think this is going to be guided missiles. I like the guided ones. Some of the best variations of games on this one are with the guided missiles. So this is... It's not quite Missile Command, I guess, but it's an interesting variation. It'd be nice if you could have pulled back to slow down the speed of the missile. I wonder what this will be. Oh, it goes down, I remember now. And quite an interesting effect with it turning over as it sort of goes from 1 pixel to 3 pixels. Oh, and it'll only hit them on the way because it's throwing them forwards, I guess. Never really picked up on that before. Ooh. And you see the score flick up every time you hit one. I'm going to have to get... Once I'm confident this is working okay, I think I'm going to have to get someone to play some 2-player games on this because it's awesome. This is a great console. Right, this might well be guided. Let's see. Yeah, oh, this is the best version. Oh. Yes. Shame the level is cutting out the audio there. I should do this on CLT really, because you get the whole sound. Ooh. It's probably getting that square wave and thinking it's a it's interference, so it's just cutting the speaker. I messed that one up. Oh, that's a good game, that. Well, what could this vary? Oh, that's got to be it, yeah. And that's pretty cool how when you go up through the levels, pitch increases on boop, 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 boop. So I just did something I've never done before. I don't think the entire time I've owned this console. I removed the cartridge while the machine was still on. I've never seen the behaviour before, and it just left some scores up on the screen, so it's a new one for me. Anyway, the next game we're playing is, get out the thing, it's Circus number 13, and if it will come into focus, which it isn't, we can see it's got moving balloons, moving horizontal bars, static horizontal bars. This is basically the game known as Circus, I think, in the arcades. On button and then load, bang. Wish I could get that whole bang sound. Yeah, this looks nowhere near as smooth as what it does in real life. And one thing I'm going to do while I'm here is just fix the focus on this. That's pretty much it. Right, so I suppose I can just try the straight one. This is one that has a two-player game. There's always two-player versions of everything. Okay, have I got the right one? Yeah, there we go. Right. You can see, if you can see how, like, I've got the controller here. You've got a huge, I mean, this is like a better than a mouse level of control, and it's not showing very smoothly on the screen. But this is like a mouse level of control you've got here. It is pretty cool. And you can move it right off the screen as well. There he goes. Oh! Okay, I've got quite a level of control, but I don't quite have the resolution I feel like I quite require. Oh! God, I remember playing this probably between watching Neighbours in about 1987, 1988. Ah. You basically, doesn't matter what machine you've got, you would struggle to play this game without this type of controller. Struggle to play it with it, let alone. Ah. Some custom controllers like this would be awesome. I don't really understand why his head goes wallopy wallopy across the top either. There we go. There we go. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Ah. This one doesn't do bloom 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 bloom. Slightly different bar type. Oh. I've got to get the Star Wars working for this, Star Wars Space Invaders, because it's really a good implementation of Invaders using an analogue stick. And I'll be honest, whenever I play other versions of Space Invaders with that use a digital stick, which is pretty much all of them, I don't really enjoy them. Oh, I'm starting to get a bit of screen roll here. I don't know whether that's this TV getting a bit. Oh, looks like I've finished that game. You can still move the thing around, which is quite interesting. non-moving ones. It's great when you select the levels and you've got you can actually see what the difference in the levels is. I mean, it's almost like a breakout thing, that one. Again, I love the art on that game, it's fantastic. Remember to switch it off this time when I pulled it out. I'll do more videos on this system. Oh, I left out that challenge cartridge. In fact, I can't see the blackjack one anywhere. Blackjack was pretty cool. But there are some overlays in there. 3091. I don't know what cartridge that's from, but you see how it fits over. It's pretty cool. Yeah, looks like blackjack's gone missing. Okay, well I can try Olympics 1, which I think was the first one that was released on this system. Oh, I'm unloaded. I thought that was going to be a dud as well. Okay, so these are basically paddle games, and I think they're pretty much all 2-player. And I've already seen a problem, and I wonder if this was what my problem was. No, is this working? Oh, this might have bombed out. Okay. Okay. I've got a feeling that all of these games okay, I think this is crashing this cartridge. Yeah, it's crashing by the looks of it. Okay, so that one might need a bit of work. Olympics, tank plane battle, then the only other cartridge I've got is Code Break Off, which is the Radofin cartridge, which is a different design to the others. Compare that to the Olympics, which has probably exact same code. I think there's actually, come to think of it, I think there is some slight variations in the code. The Code Breaker does present slightly different actually. Let's see what we get then. Oh, this one don't want to load by the looks of it. No, not having it. Oh, I can fit. I think the thing might be cracked actually. Oh no, there we go. This is going to be slightly difficult with this slight graphics distortion we're getting, but anyway, let's try this first of all. Code Breaker, right, how do I do it? This is the difficult bit, I don't know whether it's working or not. That's a bit of a weird, oh it's an 8, isn't it? 8. 7, 7, 7. Oh, you get tries at each. I can't remember how to play this. I'll have to look up my manual. It is out there. 8, 8, 8, 8. Right, I don't remember how to play this, so figures 1 to 8. So how do I push it onto the... right, so it's telling me I've got one right. So it's... that's an 8. Then it can't be... And funny how I remember the keys. No, I've got none right, okay. So then that 8 isn't going to be on the first one, so it's going to be 4. Let's try it. It's not 1 on the. So is that 1 in the right place? And the other 3 are in the wrong place. And on the other one I had 1 in the right. Ah, so that must be that 4 is in the right place. I guess that makes sense. Yeah, the 4 at the front I got right, and I had that 6 on that one where it said I had 1. 2 right, but they're in the wrong place, which is white. So the 3 on that 6636 was in the wrong place, and the 6 was where the 3 should be. So I should have got that the 6 had to go there, I guess. So that would have given me the 4 at the beginning and the 6. And then at 2 places where the 3 could have gone, and then the 7 I probably could have got, and I had 1 7 in the right place. And I could have guessed the 7 from that. So yeah, I could have got it. Well, that's a look at my Acetronic MPU 2000 for now, because I think I'm going to be doing some restoring on this machine. It is my favourite console of all time. I'm going to have a crack at getting that. Probably two of the best games, which is probably why they were left near the top. I'm going to have one last crack at getting them to run. I'll show you what's happening to them, and then we can come back down the line and try and fix it. Now, Super Maze went potty the first time I tried to put it in. Yeah, and it's still going potty. It's basically not even seeing it. There's a cartridge in there. And that has been left out, and it is really, I can see there's a lot of corrosion on it. Needs a little bit of work, that, I think. With just a bit of contact cleaner. I'll try. That is not going to do anything for us. Let's try and get the Space Invaders. Space Invaders is the... Now, if anybody has got any games for this machine they want to send me, I will happily take them. I will happily take them. Or any consoles even. This one doesn't feel so bad. This is Invaders. Oh, that might have loaded. We'll see. That one didn't feel so bad. Let's have a look. Let's see if it'll start. Ooh. Yes, here we go. Ah, so this is a great version of Space Invaders. You get nice big shields. You got everything's nice and colourful. I mean, this is more colourful than the actual arcade machine. And it didn't come out that soon afterwards. In fact, I wouldn't surprise me if the graphics are a high resolution as well. But this is my least favourite version of this. Oh. So you see how it goes here. I'm struggling to hit anything. I did better at this than I was a 6-year-old. Shame I can't get Super Maze back, or that Blackjack has gone missing. I expect that got skipped at some point. If anybody's got a Blackjack, oh, there's a pixel off there. Oh, you can shoot their bullets as well in this version. Yeah, so that's me gone. Oh, I'm glad I got this to run. Right, so the one I'm looking for. So this is night mode. Let me see. This is right. Oh, they go quite quick. No, that isn't what I was thinking it was. I think they go a bit quicker. Oh. Now, I think the one I liked was the pink one. Did I get, does that, right, so you start with no shields. I think number 11 rings a bell. Yeah, this is it, guided missiles. This is awesome, because these are guided analogue as well. Oh, you see tons of flicker, you never used to see the flicker on that. Oh. And the bullets slowly come round to follow you. I don't know if this is showing as pink on the screen for you guys, but this is pink. It's like a kind of twilight. Now it might not seem the most challenging version of this game, but it's great fun to play as a kid, I'll tell you that. And I have played this version of Space Invaders a lot. Ooh. Oh, I'm glad this started up. Really need to get Super Maze, because that's probably the other one I played the most. I think you get an extra life when you get to 150 points on this one. The other thing about it is because it can only display so many characters, the scores are usually quite low. I think the tuning is slightly drifting on this. Oh, I missed. I'm very much like an actual arcade machine. This one speeds up a little bit. As you shoot the birds. Gotcha, little devil. But because it can only handle so many sprites, I mean, it is quite an achievement moving all these sprites with different colours. Cool! I didn't mean to jiggle like that, that was the joystick going a little bit crazy. Yeah, because you've got so many sprites with different colours on the screen, which is moving, I guess, with a really clever technique. I mean, it's really solid, this game as well. Yeah, there's something not quite right about this controller. It needs a bit of work. Can I get in? No. I just think it's a great idea to have the guided missile. Oh, I'll tell you what, it's a good job this joystick keeps wobbling around, because I would have been lost a couple more lives by now if it wasn't for that. Okay. I think that was the extra life. That's pretty cool, isn't it? I really like the sounds that come out of this machine. Yeah, it was the extra life. Anyway, that's Acetronic MPU 2000. It is starting to feel a bit like it's getting a bit unwell, this machine, at the minute. I'm feeling it. Joystick's starting to not be quite as responsive. I'm amazed though that this machine, after all these years, and doesn't need any new caps or anything. This controller has got one or two minor problems. But generally speaking, it's not doing too bad. Better than my Amiga is, I can tell you that. So, thank you very much for watching. please let me know what you think of this console. If you've got any, oh yeah, that's the pad almost, that's the controller's gone. If you've got one that you want to send to me, I'll gladly take it. Or if you've got any games with this thing, yeah, it looks purple on there. Oh, I think that was a crash. I think that was a crash. It looks like it reset itself there. Okay, so it's maybe getting a little tiny bit unwell. Yeah, let's have a look at the other games on this. There's the pink one. The night one's a little bit harder. I think you can do each one purple. I will come back to this console and hopefully get better grabs of it. I can see it is starting to struggle with the tuning a little bit. But look, like this video if you like it. Let me know if you dislike it. I'm going to go quick. Oh, I didn't even get a chance then. And yeah, let me know if you've got... Yeah, controller's gone. Controller's gone. Let me know if you've got one of these, or if you've got any cartridges or anything. Anybody wants to send me one, I will really love to get some more stuff for this console, and I will definitely give it a run out. Until next time, thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch you later. Just click the subscribe if you'd like to subscribe, or click what's the other thing we click? The like, subscribe, and you know, hit that notification thing, and I may well do a live, maybe one day I'll do a live show with this brilliant console that I really love. This is a very special console to me. Had some good times playing on this console, good memories playing it with my dad, who's now passed on, and first computer system I ever owned, and it's great, I love it. Thanks for watching, you take care, bye bye now.